approach today's video because there is a bunch of different topics I want to hit, because when I entitled this video, It's Happening, I want to explain what's exactly happening. And it's something that most people can't see. They can't see it, but they can feel it. I want to talk about the BRICS bringing in a new North American country into their fold. And they just had a North American country apply for BRICS status. Big news. I want to talk about crypto and scammers. I just had a subscriber contact me and ask me if this was one of my friend Bravo's accounts and it was a scammer. There's all these scammers and people want to steal from you down below. And I want to talk about what happened as we're sitting here hitting, I think, the 46th all-time high. I believe it's in the S&P today as futures are rising. I want to talk about what happened directly before the crash, which wasn't the Great Depression. The Great Depression didn't set in until a little after, years after the crash. Okay. I want to talk about that, or a year after. I'm going to remind you there's 13 hours left of the Bitcoin accelerator, the Bitcoin 101 accelerator, which is the fundamentals, the basics of buying any cryptocurrency, being able to buy it, sell it, store it, all that stuff. I do believe that everyone in America, actually everyone in the world, should have some crypto. And I'm talking about like big chains like Bitcoin, XRP, Solana, things like that, stashed away. And most people don't even realize that you can buy just $1 worth of Bitcoin. Most people don't understand that, how it works. But I'll tell you real quick a story from an old friend named Daniel that told me he would never buy Bitcoin. This was back when it was like 25, 30,000 until he could own a whole Bitcoin, and pride kept him from it. And I told him that day, I said, you will never own Bitcoin ever. Now, what do you think he's thinking at 60 something thousand dollars per Bitcoin? And I said this when I started the channel, when Bitcoin was around $3,200. I said, I think everyone should have a little bit of Bitcoin. I used to tell the firefighters that. As a matter of fact, the last 3 words, or the last phrase that I said as I left the fire department, I said, I'm going to leave you with the same thing I've been telling you for the last 7 years. Buy gold, buy silver, buy Bitcoin. And they looked at me like I was a complete idiot. But they gave me that same look 7 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago. It's funny how people wait till the very end or till the news media is freaking out about it to go freak out themselves, but they're only buying at a high, and I don't want you to buy at a high. Okay, the next cycle top for Bitcoin, from all the technical analysis myself and other people have done that are a lot smarter than me, is 120 grand before it makes its next correction, but only time will tell. Now, before we get into the BRICS story, this story is coming out right now as futures are rising and the people are just exuberant about the stock market numbers, right? I want to remind you, and this came from a video, and I don't know what to do, to be honest with you, and I'm going to ask your opinion. We just sent off, I've been saying for a long time, I was very deliberate in how I built this channel. I didn't want to look fancy. I am not fancy, actually. That's just the truth. I am just who I am in front of you, right? When I'm talking to you here in the car, wherever you are, this is exactly, I get that compliment. It is a compliment all the time. Wow, you're really just like, you are on the channel. But I did the cardboard and I did all this stuff because I want people that believe in themselves just enough, or I've got to inject just enough, faith into you to where you believe in yourself to go and actually be a man or woman of action, because what's coming, this crash, is not a joke. And there's going to be opportunity to make money, but it's for the greater good of our country. We need to take the money back from the money changers. And so I did things a specific way. Well, through that, I used to bring all the nuggets in the video would be at the very end. And I used to tell people why I did that in the beginning of the channel. Type 1 if you remember me doing that, so people can, at least they know I'm not a liar. And how do I do this? Nobody has really ever believed in me except for my mom. I told that story many times before. I only had one person that really truly believed in me, that I could do anything that I set my mind to. And it was always hard overcoming other people's disbelief in me or lack of faith. right? I had to build up enough faith in myself, especially when my mom died, to go out and do something great with my life. And I'm still struggling. Every day is a struggle, right? I have to look myself in the mirror, and I'm constantly bombarded with all of the things that I did wrong yesterday, the week before, the month before, right? Type 2 if you know what I'm talking about. And so when I started this channel, I used to say that when my mom passed, being my greatest cheerleader, my job is now to become the greatest cheerleader for the world, to believe in themselves and pull stuff out of themselves, right? So, you know, while the world looks at money a certain way, very few people have a lot of money because they look at the world a certain way. And right now, as the stock market's making all of these all-time highs, they're all getting sucked in like in the roaring 20s. They're just getting sucked in. Just like they were, I witnessed this firsthand during the dot-com boom. I witnessed it firsthand during the housing boom. People at the very end, the very last 1/3 of an exponential increase in an asset price or value, they get sucked in, right? You can't lose. And this is happening now. Now think about this. I've been reporting, and I did these videos that were edited. This is why I tailored the channel. I made specific predictions, and a lot of these predictions have come to pass. And so we've been editing videos with news footage and timestamps and all this stuff we're putting together. And I need to ask your opinion. This is the truth, because the channel got taken down after I did that video about a virus coming. And the video is still up. And I brought a lot of people over to X to show them how. And a year and 2 months ago, I made a warning, and I said something's coming right before the election. And this is what I believe it is. And it is now happening. It's actually happening right before your eyes. The exact same media rollout as before the year 2020 is happening right now. And I'm seeing posts that are very disturbing about something coming here in February. And you've got to go and check out my X channel for that, okay? Thank you, Galaxy, for the super chat. But my point being is I don't know what to do with these videos. They're edited very well. And if I put them on here, they're not getting any push. I'm thinking about putting them on a dummy channel to see if the algo would take it. So do me a favor. Type this channel. If you think they should go on this channel, type dummy channel. If possibly I should be putting them on a brand new channel, nothing out there, to see if the algo will push them to get more people woken up. Just put dummy channel if you think that's the case. I actually want your opinion on this, because I want to be open and transparent. It's not like somebody else made these videos, okay? But I think people need to understand, they need to know when people are right or when they're wrong. Or, and a lot of us, we never get it all right. I never get it all right. But check this out. Talk about some people that didn't get it all right. It says, right before the 1929 stock market crash, the market experienced a prolonged period of rapid growth, with stock prices reaching record highs, fueled by excessive speculation and buying on margin, where investors borrowed money to purchase stocks, leading to an overheated market that eventually collapsed in a panic selling frenzy. It said here, the Dow Jones Industrial Average saw a significant increase, reaching unprecedented levels, just like we're witnessing right now with the Dow and the S&P. Remember the days of the NASDAQ, and a lot of people that are probably watching this do remember. Say, I remember, if you remember how fast that NASDAQ seemed to go up. It was almost like overnight, but it wasn't. And then how it came absolutely crashing down. And just devastating compared to the Dow and the S&P. The Dow fell 50%. The NASDAQ lost way more than that, right? Now we're seeing that same thing, that same scenario playing out right now with the Dow, with the S&P. Anyone got their coffee? Type coffee. I'm about to go to the gym. I need to get all... So here it says here, a widespread belief existed that the market would continue to rise indefinitely, leading to complacency among investors. So for the last year and a half, I have been explaining how wealthy people were getting out of the market. I used Warren Buffett as an example. That's some videos that I made predictions about that we've got to get to the editor next. And now you're seeing Warren Buffett closing out of everything. And he's not done yet. Just, he's not done selling. And what's funny is when I was moving to cash, I'd get a lot of criticism, which is totally fine. if people knew my position or what I've done, they probably would act differently. Actually, I know they would, but that's okay. You need to take all of this on face value. That's why I'm not a financial advisor and you shouldn't be listening to everything I say, right? But it says here, warning signs ignored. Despite some early signs of trouble, like market dips in March and in May of 1929, most investors continue to buy stocks, believing the upward trend would persist. They got completely wiped out, destroyed. Now, we've seen two devastating market corrections, both 50% since the year 2000. And there are a lot of people, even in this chat room right now, that have lost their homes, lost their jobs, or lost something. And a lot of divorces happened during this time too. A lot of emotional loss happened during these times of hard financial times the last 2 years. What we're seeing right now is something way worse than that. And so someone asked me the other day, well, what does moving to cash mean? I said, well, cash or cash equivalents. I mean, that could be money into your mattress, which I don't condone. That's not a big deal. I've been on a lot of structure fires where everyone lost everything they had because they had their cash under their mattress, literally. And I mean, it's horrible. And then, having money in a savings account, FDIC insured accounts, all separated, treasuries, bonds, things like that. It's funny because I did a video on Jamie Dimon and people are like, the guy's evil. I'm like, yeah, I get all that. Okay, cool. Whatever you want to say, cool, I get that. But you want to know what he's not going to be? He's going to make sure he's not wrong, because he's the CEO of the largest bank in America and one of the largest in the world. And his bank is moving to cash. Warren Buffett moving to cash. There's a reason. There's a lot of people on YouTube that want to tell you that the dollar is going to go away tomorrow. That is absolutely not going to happen. Will the dollar continue to be inflated away, and will we reach a specific type of hyperinflation? My opinion, a mild one, yes. Meaning that certain assets are going to go through the roof, yes. And certain assets like real estate will go down. I know that sounds crazy, but you can't sustain a real estate market when there's no lending going on or no mass stimulus. You see, that's what people don't tell you on YouTube. And so there's certain asset classes that are going to go down, and like BlackRock and Blackstone right now currently buying up all of the crypto they can, and that is happening. You can find news stories about it. They are also getting ready for the largest real estate downturn in history, and I know this for a fact because BlackRock has the largest real estate downturn fund. That's actually the name of it in history right now. They're in cash. So I'm looking to take advantage of the downturn commercial, and I'm going to start bringing in investors in a small pool of people that I know to start taking advantage of this as well. I'm just simply doing what very, very wealthy people are doing. It's interesting in YouTube land, I've gotten to meet a lot of people, because what's crazy, and until I did that video warning everyone about another illness coming, the channel was getting like 9-10 million views a month. And so that opened up a lot of doors for me to meet people. And I found out exactly how many people in the finance space are complete frauds. And they're making, $10-30 million a year. Hey, stop talking, Ninja. And they make like $10 or $30 million a year selling you an affiliate link to now defunct companies, and they're still doing it. And I told them, you're all about to lose your butts because you're selling people affiliate links to certain brokerages that are going to completely be wiped out during this next crash, because the clearinghouse, the DTC, and I'm trying to explain this to them, their eyes are glazing over. They don't even know how a stock is settled. They don't even know what street name recognition is on a stock. These are kids that are just selling people down the river, like Dave Ramsey. Hey, buy my fund. Hey, use my real estate agent. Keep buying real estate. You're going to see them go broke. And the thing is, it's really sad when the tide goes out, you see whoever was swimming naked. It's just the truth. But I want to show you this story, and I think it's incredibly important. And it's about the BRICS nations, right? And the news story will deceive you because a lot of people are going, it doesn't matter. This isn't North America. Well, okay, check this out. This is the story, and I want to explain why I think it's very important. North American countries start applying for BRICS membership. We go down to the actual story. It says North American country, Cuba. And everyone's like, oh, come on, Ninja. This is the story, and let me explain why it's a big deal. Applies to join the alliance. The North American country, Cuba, has officially applied, and this story is out of Watcher.guru, For BRICS membership in October of 2024, on the heels of the upcoming summit, Russian ambassador to Cuba, Viktor Kornilai, confirmed that the North American country has applied to join the alliance. Let me get another sip. It says Cuba has shown interest in joining BRICS association, confirmed Cornelii. Moreover, they have submitted an official application to the Russian side for partner status. Russia is, all right, the rest of the story doesn't matter. This is why it's a big deal. Are they North American? Consider North America? Yeah, right? Think about the Cuban missile crisis. It's a very strategic place to put military assets to attack the United States. When you bring in a country under your economic system, you now can control the country. This is exactly how America has been doing it for a long time. And if you see any value in any of these guys, feel free to clip some of this stuff and share it on your channels. When you control their economy because you have invited them at first into your economy, think about how Hawaii was taken. A simple overview of Hawaii. We went to Hawaii and signed some trade deals with Hawaii, with the Queen of Hawaii, right? Was it a magistrate? What's the name? When there's a king and queen, a monarch, whatever it is. They signed trade deals, sugar and all that stuff. And then what they did is they got really close, and then they just sent in a few Marines and they said, okay, we're now taking your property by force. That's the Hallmark version of how they did it. Well, that's what BRICS are going to do with Cuba, because they're like, hey, America doesn't care for you. We're gonna help you out. We're gonna get trade going, and then slowly, hey, we're gonna put some assets over there to help protect you. We're going to protect you too, because the U.S. is going to come after Cuba and come after other countries with sanctions like they've been doing forever, right? They're known as the bad guys on the block. We are known as the bad guys on the block. That's why we need a business person in the White House to be able to negotiate deals safely and fairly. As a matter of fact, I saw, and I wish I could share it, a video by who's the guy that created that movie Bowling for Columbine, and he came out and he says, you're about to see the biggest FU in American history when the voters go and vote this November, because he said, now he's like one of the most liberal people I know, right, I've ever seen. He goes, I saw something amazing happen. He said, a while back, a handful of American car companies had announced that they were moving to Mexico, and they were going to close their plants here in America and move to Mexico. And he said, for the first time I've ever seen in history, an American president. Wow, that sun just popped right out. Thank you, Lord, for the sunrise. See, there's always a new day. Just remember that. No matter where you're going, I'm jumping around. No matter where you are in your life right now, no matter how upset you are, how hurt you are, how depressed you are, how let down you are, there's always a new day. Someone needs to hear that right now. But going back to this guy, he said, as these car companies were deciding to leave America and go to Mexico, he said, I saw something that no president ever done. The president leans over and says, if you do this, I will slap a 35% tariff on you overnight and no one will buy your cars. And he said, what happened next was purely amazing, because for the first time, I saw the American people that person represented. That were the hardworking people of America, the blue collar people, the people that wake up and have bills to pay and go to work, and they're being kicked in the nuts by their, and I'm paraphrasing, by their employers, and now they're being completely destroyed or ravaged as they just said, oh, this is what we're going to do. And a president for them stood up and says, if you do that, I'm going to stop you. And they didn't do it. And that was when the American people woke up. You see, that's why we need a businessman in the presidency. Sorry, that's awkward. Because we're in a moment right now where the BRICS nations are getting so powerful, it's going to destroy our country. It's going to destroy our economy. I want to help the economy by making you wealthy to get you to think differently. If you agree with that and you believe that, based off of my wild experiences, I might be able to help you, just not give you financial advice, but encouragement, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button, because the next wave that we're about to get into is going to be amazing. I just started a whole company based around it, because I'm going to be doing it myself, and I'm going to be telling people how to do it. I hope you got something out of this. I thank you so much for watching. The Ninja is out. Oh yeah, hey, real quick, if you want that Bitcoin class, it's down below, 90% off. I think there's 8 hours left.